Hello everybody, and welcome to this week's energy update for March 10th through to March 17th. And happy new moon. Today marks the new moon. I'm so excited to dive into what messages have come through on this very deeply intuitive day. And I really hope a lot of you are taking some time this new moon to really dig deep into yourselves, spend some time doing what you love, and really going into that more spiritual, intuitive side, because man, oh man, it's a beautiful day to do it. So let's dive into some of our themes for this week. So number one, the first thing I heard was fire in the hole, almost like this hole-in-one energy. So what came through was completeness and a sense of ease. Quick clarity and sudden knowledge comes to light. You are becoming clearer on what you want your life to be. Not one of sadness or trapped in the problems of yesterday, but free, joyful, and filled with untamed purpose. This was super interesting and beautiful to hear, especially coming from last week, which I feel like was such a healing week, such a week to get more acquainted with our shadow aspects, to do that healing work that perhaps we've really needed to do. And so it's really great to have this beautiful lightness that's starting this week off, where we're really getting a strong focus around wrapping up cycles and getting the downloads and clarity we need to really move forward in this next chapter. So a lot of us, especially today on the new moon, we might be going into those manifestations, and this is really giving us a lot of clarity. What do we want out of life? It's time to ignite that passion and purpose. So very strong focus on this. So what came through and channeled was let your purpose light up your soul. Let go of what you think you should do and live. Live free and in the moment. Let each day be blessed by sunshine and happiness. Don't let a single day pass without hope. Keep being the full extent of who you are now and always. So they were really making me feel this energy where this past week, there might have been, once again, this very strong focus on our shadow parts and on these inner child work, and a lot of that heavy theme of last week of really going into those emotions. And some of us have lost our balance. We've gotten a little hung up on those shadows. We might be a little hung up in the grief cycles. And so what I'm really hearing is lightness can exist even through this time of perhaps darkness, right? So what was really coming in was don't forget your joy, and don't forget the healed version of you through this experience, because a lot of times we can do that. We can be so in our emotions and so in our problems and what is happening outside of us in this external circumstance, that we kind of cut ourselves off from experiencing the beauty that life still has to offer. So I love how this was really coming through this week. I was like, don't let a day pass without hope. Don't let a day pass without really expressing the fullness of yourself, which includes those healed, joyful, light parts of yourself. So I was really hearing, to get us out of this funk that we might be feeling, is to really let ourselves get, once again, focused on what lights up our soul and igniting that passion again. So think about that this week. What ignites me? What makes me feel excited about life again? And how can I make sure that I'm prioritizing that effectively? So what came through next was dig deep and express who you are. Remember to take time. Patience is key. There is no rush. Trust all is happening in perfect time. Okay, I love this a lot because once again, when we get clarity around our purpose, clarity around what lights us up, which a lot of us are going to be getting clarity on this next little while, we have to remember to be patient, and we have to remember to take our time with this, because a lot of us I'm seeing are landing on certain goals or certain ambitions that we want to bring to fruition. And we have this very strong theme of manifestation coming through the past few weeks, and is only going to continue as the energy speeds up as we move into spring and Aries season. But that we're going to feel that fire. We're going to feel that excitement. And what happens when we're excited, we want to shout it from the rooftops. We want to be like, I'm going to get this done. And we might put our nose to the ground and start really working, and setting timelines for ourselves, setting these goals. But we need to trust the process. And this week, it's a lot about letting go of what you think you need to do and being in the flow and the energy of enjoyment and play. So be mindful of that. Where have I made my purpose into like a goal or something to complete or a task to be done, as opposed to doing it from this space of joy, from this space of inspiration? Because a lot of us too, when we have these goals, it's like, well, I need to get to it every single day. I need to be doing it every single day. And there's nothing wrong with having those types of goals and dedication. Absolutely, we gotta be dedicated. But what's coming through is to listen to the cycles and rhythms of your body and of what feels good in your intuition. Because once again, I know for me, one of my passions is writing. And if I'm not in the mood to write and I try to force it, the writing is never good. Right? It's just like, oh, you can tell it's just not flowing. You feel blocked. Then you get hard on yourself. And that's what I'm hearing is coming through this week. It's like, don't do that. Why are you forcing yourself to do something that you're clearly not feeling inspired to do right now? And how can you shift the energy so every single day you're in your joy, not in this competition energy where it's like, I need to get it done and I've got this timeline, and you're in competition with yourself. It's like, no, that's like a toxic dynamic. Let's make this a loving dynamic towards your goals and your dreams, right? So where does that fine line land in your life right now? Where are you being called out? Where you might be a little bit too gung-ho in the sense of overdoing things or not listening to your intuitive promptings that are very telling. Right? When we've made this path for ourselves to heal and to follow our intuition and become more spiritually awakened and aware, we have to start applying our intuition even to everything, right? A lot of times we forget that. We're like, okay, well, while I'm doing my spirituality work, then I will drop into my intuitiveness. Your intuition is going 24/7. And we have to remember, even when we're doing the most minute things, that intuition is constantly there. It's constantly telling us, it's constantly asking us to feel how we feel while we're doing even these minuscule things in our day, right? So as we start to learn ourselves more, and as we start trying to uncover purpose and joy and fulfillment in our lives, this is what we're being asked to do, is to tune into that. Tune into the rhythm of your soul, into the rhythms of nature and your body. There was a huge stress around your body and your physical being this past while, and to listen to the urges of your physical body, because your physical body is incredibly intuitive and instinctual, and we have to remember that. Well, once again, a lot of us are in our mental headspace energy, and we are being called to come back to our bodies this week. So I love this. It's like, let's get back to that groundedness and then listen to how we're truly feeling, even through this process of inspiration. And that's going to be very telling for us. What makes us feel inspired? And if we're like, okay, I have this goal and we're feeling a little bit lacking in it, or we're not getting it completed, what can inspire you again to bring you back to wanting to follow it through instead of forcing yourself to follow through? And to also recognize what the hindrance is. So I'm actually feeling a little bit of this like hold up in my heart space where it's like a little bit of a block, where it's like, I know I want this goal, but I'm going to avoid it for right now. So it's like, what's making you want to avoid committing to your goals and to your dreams? That might come up this week as well. So they're really wanting us to analyze that. Is there anything that's holding me back? Is there anything that's making me feel like I want to procrastinate getting this done? And so for those of us on that end of the spectrum, how can you really identify that this week? And I feel like that's where we're going to get a lot of intuitive downloads and clarity as well, of where we're maybe feeling not good enough or feeling like we won't be supported. We might have a few of these downloads that come in this week. I'm also hearing like past trauma, where it's like, whenever I did complete a goal, it never took off, or whenever I did put all this work in, it never paid off. I'm hearing some of us have a bit of trauma with that we'll have to work through so we can get all of our parts on board. And what I mean by all of our parts, it's like the parts of ourselves and the emotions that are still there, that are in resistance to our goal, that are in resistance to our passion and to what excites us and to goodness itself. You know, if you think about that for a minute, a lot of us have had experiences that maybe have put a damper on our joy. You know, one of these big things can even be just the belief that you don't get to have anything good for yourself unless you punish yourself through the process, and then you can deserve finally, right? So a lot of us have this warped perspective. So this week, as we start going into purpose, we might have these things creep up, and this is for us to acknowledge and to release. So once again, come Aries season, come this brand new year astrologically, we're going to be starting with everything in alignment to our purpose and joy. We'll actually be able to commit to a fulfilling life that lights us up. So how beautiful is this, right? So just have awareness this week. You know, take your time. There's no rush. Allow yourself to drop into those energies of what's making me want to rush this, or what's making me want to come out of my joy when that's what I really want to do, and really be mindful of that. So this goes in nicely to this complementary theme, which is all about trust. So trust and identify key lessons right where you are. What are you meant to learn in this phase and scenario? Be alert to change. Change is the one thing guaranteed. Know there is a shift of every season. Trust and follow the rhythms of nature. She is waking up. Okay? I love this so much. So once again, they're showing me kind of like the bear energy, where the bear has been in hibernation all winter long, and it's just waking up now. It's just waking up. It's just becoming aware of where it is, the surroundings it's in, that it might be, oh, maybe it is time for me to, stand up, look outside, maybe start walking towards the entrance of the cave, the exit of the cave, to the bright new world, right? So think of this in terms of nature, and recognize this past winter season and what it has brought forward for you. So I'm really hearing for a lot of us, this winter season has been all about introspection, right? It's about really going within and not looking outside. So what I'm hearing is this is where we still kind of are, is we're in this wake up energy. So we're starting to be like, oh yeah, okay, I kind of want to start doing this now. I'm feeling the inspiration coming in and it's exciting, but I'm not fully there yet. I'm not fully in that space where I'm ready to like leap out of bed and get going and get outside. We got to recognize and honor the phase we are in. Okay, So we're still doing a bit of introspective work. We're still getting this inspiration. We're having both energies come through here, okay? So play in both this week. But I love this very much because it's helping us really, once again, identify what we need to learn right where we are. And this is actually incredibly important because, once more, Pisces season is the closure, right? It's the last zodiac sign. So what we're getting is this ending that's happening. And you might have really felt that last week. And it is carrying over. It's like, we might have had some very strong awarenesses that have come through, or downloads that have come through or are coming through for us. And now it's to really put them to bed, have closure. Okay, so we're going to feel this week. So wherever we are, we need to identify what we're meant to learn. What were you meant to learn in the past, and have you learned it? And right now, in the problems and scenarios you're in, what are you meant to learn here, right where you are? Okay, so once again, very important because we're wrapping this up. It's coming up for you to put to bed, okay? We want this done by the time we start moving into this next astrological year. And that's what I'm really hearing. A lot of us are going to have incredible clarity so we can really do this. So what are you meant to learn? What is it this big lesson is? So take a step back this week and really survey, really take a good look at your life and really see what is really happening. What wounds are being triggered right now? What grief is coming up for you to experience and let go of and bring closure to? And to know that this is temporary. And that's what I was really feeling, where it was like change is guaranteed. They kept showing me like the wheel of life turning. So this is a temporary phase, right? That we're not going to stay in it. We're going to wake up. We're going to get up and walk out the exit. Okay? So trust there's new beginnings on the horizon. So identify what you need to learn. And this is going to help us really move forward. So next theme was being your own deliverance. Being sure of yourself and taking decisive action. You are the ruler of your life. Take control. If there is something that needs to change, change it. Trust your intuition. It is supercharged at this time. Divine downloads are coming and are here. Are you listening? And how much can you trust? So beautiful energy here. A lot about empowerment this week. We're going to be really called out a little bit of where we need to take ownership and where we need to, once again, be our own savior, right? So a lot of us, once more, we might find ourselves in a little bit of a victim mentality this week. And that's very normal because we've had some very powerful emotions. We've had some very strong cycles that have been coming up to, once again, bring to closure. But we're being called to take action. We're not supposed to just repeat the cycle. That's our choice, but our guides are really pushing us. Don't choose that sameness. Time to make a change. So some of us have been a little indecisive, and that's what they're showing me. It's like, you know what you need to do, and if you don't, it's coming. That clarity is coming, and we need to take decisive action. It's very much this cut and dry energy. It's a yes or a no. And that's what they're kind of giving me. It's like, come on, yes or no. You know what you want, commit to it. So it's time to be sure of yourself. It's time to rescue yourself from whatever situation has been plaguing you, okay? And I'm hearing this. It's like they're showing me our problems and they're like stalking us. Or it's like, oh my God, I just can't seem to get out of this scenario. I can't seem to get rid of this shadow, right? And part of the lingering of this shadow is because we have not chosen to cut it off fully. And they're showing me we have to cut it off. We got to remove it from our energy fields. We've got to release it. So for some of you, this is going to look like toxic energies. Okay, so they're giving me this scenario of needing to forgive someone. Okay, so maybe there's someone in our lives, maybe we're in a relationship and we've had a lot of past history, a lot of hurtful history. And what they're showing me, it's like you have to commit to this relationship. If you know you want this relationship to survive and to thrive, then you have to say goodbye to all the toxicities, all the resentments, so you can move forward. Because you just dragging along all this baggage, it's not helping. It's not healing. It's only hurting. So what I'm hearing is a lot of us have to cut off that baggage so we can really commit, okay? And that means committing to ourselves, because when we do this, this is refreshing the energies. So a lot of us will have to do cord cutting this week. A lot of us are being called to make those final decisions. So think about that. What is it that I need to let go of? What is it that I'm holding on to that's only hurting me and making this situation even worse? That's stressing me out, that's making me feel indecisive. It's time to make a choice, okay? So I'm hearing take decisive action. You are the ruler of your life. Take control, okay? Now, the next part of this is we are in Pisces season. This is like one of the most intuitive signs. So with that, it's all about really connecting with our intuition. We're going to notice our intuition is so heightened right now. We are going to get downloads like crazy. We are going to be getting insights like crazy. We gotta listen, okay? So really make sure you're listening, okay? And when we get the guidance, to trust it. A lot of us are not trusting our gut instincts. We're getting in our heads. We're taking things way too far, like next level with the mental energy. And that's why they're saying it's so important. We have to be in our bodies this week so we can really effectively get these intuitive downloads and not second guess them, okay? So what's channeled next? Psychic insight. Third eye opening. You are seeing things clearly for perhaps the first time. You are becoming aware of the earth beneath your feet, as well as the divine presence above. You are cultivating balance in all areas of your life. You are seeing the sanctity of yourself and your soul mission of joy. Okay, so for a lot of us, we are balancing these energies of heaven and earth, where a lot of us have been unbalanced. So once more, they're giving me that prime example of those of us who've been living in the fight or flight response, who've been living in the mental energy, and we have not had the groundedness and that balance come in for us. So what I'm really hearing is this is what's happening this week. We are cultivating this balance, and we are going to be getting a lot of psychic downloads that are going to help us really see where we need to course correct and where we need to move forward. And once again, in our mission of joy, right? This is going to be a good thing. So what channeled was breathe it all in. Enjoy the earthly pleasures available. You only have them for such a short amount of time. Drink in winter's warmth. Even in the depths of winter, the sun can always be found. Ensure to look around you. What blessings lie in disguise? Cultivate gratitude. So this was really, really beautiful because once again, it's a lot of us during this time, we might be very much encompassed in our problems and what's happening, but we have such a beautiful reminder again. Hey, life is so short. We only get to be in this human incarnation for so long. And for those on the other side, it's like a blink of an eye, right? So with that, it's like, really enjoy yourself. Even if there's darkness, even if there's things that are overwhelming, how can you still search out the sun? How can you still find the gratitude in this experience? How can you still find the blessings that are in disguise? Because guess what? Every time we face darkness, the sun rises again, right? And that's the thing we have to remember. When we go through tough challenges, a lot of times, well, I want to say 100% of the time, it is to free us if we choose it. If we choose to learn the lessons that these challenges are presenting, it frees us. I know for myself, every single dark night of the soul that I've experienced, every single challenge that I've experienced, I don't regret, because it made me who I am. It's made me stronger. I've learned so much from every single challenge. Did I enjoy it? No. But what we're learning now is how to still find our joy through the dark, right? So moving forward, we can still be our best friend throughout this time. We can ensure we have the support that's required throughout the shift, right? And really experiencing all that life has to offer. Just because something isn't going the way we want right now doesn't mean that the rest of your life isn't happening. Doesn't mean that there isn't beauty to be seen, right? So really be mindful. Take a step back this week and really go, okay, this sucks, this is hard, but I'm still going to enjoy my life. I'm still going to prioritize what I need to prioritize so I can still fill my love cup. This is all about how to love yourself, right? Think about it in that term. How can I love myself by seeing the beauty that can be found, even if I don't see it initially, right? So from there, we have channeled a beginning of a new venture, planting seeds of manifestation and what we fully want and desire. Okay, so this is really beautiful. A lot of us, we're going to be, once again, getting clarity about what we really want, okay? Now with this, we're planting seeds, okay? So it's like, allow yourself to have that awareness. What seeds do I want to plant, okay? So as we clear, we make room where our focus, we make room. And where our focus is, grows. Where we focus, energy flows. So become intentional with forward movement. This is not the time to wallow or look behind for too long. This is a time of the final goodbye. So this is beautiful. As we get clear on what we want, and as we clear out what we don't, we are becoming way more intentional with how we are utilizing our energies. We are becoming way more intentional about where we are focusing. So once again, this week we have a huge onus on where we are looking, right? So yeah, there might be some darkness, but I'm focusing on the light. I'm focusing on what's next. I'm focusing on what I know I want. And I'm ready to say goodbye to what isn't for me anymore. Okay, so once again, Pisces, it's the final closure. What closure is needed now? What can you set free with a hopeful heart and gratitude of spirit? Right? What a beautiful perspective. Sometimes we really can focus on what we're leaving behind than what we're gaining, right? So really be mindful of that. What am I afraid to lose? And where do I need to shift my focus on what I'll actually be gaining from this experience of letting it go? And setting free is such a beautiful way to word it, right? It's not like, oh, goodbye. It's more like I'm setting you free and I'm setting me free, right? So that's in the scenario of a relationship, right? I'm setting us free. Now, we're going to be doing this with a hopeful heart because once again, we're excited. We're like, okay, yes, this has been tough, but I know this is what's best for me. I know what it is that I want now. And I know that I have a hopeful future, right? So having that gratitude. So what came through? Be wise, choose wisely, and trust the process. Once this is over, you will be set free. This goodbye is the gift you give yourself. Be sure to clear any and all lingering resentment. Double check, am I still bothered by anything? And have an honest evaluation. Okay, this was super pivotal as well. So as much freedom as we are going to be gaining, once more, we don't want to bypass. Is there anything we're being called to release in this moment, right? So we have to be clear. Is there anything I'm still holding on to? Is there anything that I'm still thinking about and dreaming about? There's actually a bonus on that. What have you been dreaming, right? Have you had people from the past you've been dreaming about? Has there been strong emotions that you've had from your dreams? What are they? Identify them. Because I'm hearing a lot of us, our subconscious is trying to speak to us, especially at night. So be very mindful what is coming up for me to clear and get honest about. So as much as we want to begin this next venture, and we are, once more, just make sure we're bringing that closure to what we need to close out. So double check, is there anything I'm still holding on to? Is there anything that I'm still bothered by? And set yourself free. So this is where they were actually recommending that a lot of us go through a burning ceremony or that cord cutting process. Okay, so a burning ceremony and ritual is when you are able to write down everything on paper. What is it that you're wanting to let go of? What is it that you need to release from your life? And then either ripping up the paper or burning it in a safe, effective way. And this is such a beautiful physical way and ritual that we can do that really, it just hits home. It allows this clearing to really land, and energetically using fire can be such a transformative experience. Fire has such a powerful energy, and when we give our problems to the fire, there's something so magical and sacred to doing that. So I'm really hearing to encourage a lot of you to do some burning ceremonies this week, to really do some cord cutting. And I do have a meditation free on my website that you can do that'll talk you through that process if you're unsure of how to cut cords. And this is going to be incredibly freeing. So let's pull ourselves a card for this week. I'm going to grab my angel card deck and give it a little shuffle of what we need to know, if there's any additional messages that we need for this week. Okay, perfect. So we have 3 cards that have come out for us, which is so beautiful. So the first one is the Diamond card with valuing your self-worth. You are God's precious gem. Okay, so really getting immediately with this card that we are going to really start dropping in to our value. We're going to start really recognizing what we are worth. And this is amazing because they're showing me someone just rising up into themselves, rising up into their personal power and going, you know, I'm finally seeing for the first time that I don't want to put up with this anymore. And I'm finally seeing for the first time what I really want in my life without the foreshadow of other people's opinions. And it's this amazing freedom that is taking place for a lot of us this week to really choose ourselves, to finally choose ourselves which is so very beautiful. So next we have the sensitive emotions card and stress reduction card. So with these, this is where our self-care is going to be very pivotal. We're going to be going through shifts. We are saying goodbye to some big things this week. So we have to ride the wave. Ride the wave of your emotions. Give yourself this beautiful gift of showing up for yourself and nurturing yourself the way you need to be nurtured. They're giving me this example of the inner child. So when you're stressed, recognize that that stress or those emotions that are rising up in you is a call to be nurtured, right? How often do we try to bypass our stress or avoid it or turn it off? But this week we're being called to embrace it. Embrace your emotions, embrace the stress, embrace what you're really feeling. If you're afraid, well, how do you react when a child's afraid? How do you react when your best friend's afraid? You comfort them. You show up for them. You dissipate the fear. So how can you show up in such a loving way this week and do the same thing? Where is your body? Where is your mind? Where is your inner child in need of support and love this week? Okay? And this is once more going to reaffirm in your vibration your value because you're taking time out to care for your needs. You're saying to yourself and to the universe, I deserve love. I deserve love right where I am. I deserve to have my needs met. I'm not going to ignore them anymore. I'm going to listen to them. I'm going to feel my emotions, and I'm going to comfort myself. And this in itself is propelling so much of that energy of love that it's going to really bring about this transformation big time, big time. So this is also helping us step into our power, right? I'm my own deliverance. I am ensuring that my needs are met and all in my life is well. How beautiful is this? So my friends, what a week we have. I know there's going to be some ups and downs. There's going to be that beautiful balance of darkness and light, but that is life. So how can you once more really show up for yourself? How can you really allow yourself the support you need, the love you need, and start recreating these foundations for your life based on love? So that's all I have for us this week, my friends. I really hope you enjoyed this week's energy update. And if you did, let me know down below. I love hearing your comments. And if I could ask a favor of you and ask that if you do enjoy my readings, to consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and checking out some of my other offerings. A lot of you come from my podcast, which I'm so grateful for, but to know that you can also get some deeper readings, personalized readings on my YouTube with my pick a cards that I have posted on there pretty much every week. I do a pick a card reading where you can get even more in-depth personalized information for yourself. So please make sure that you're checking out those as well if you enjoy these readings. And please reach out. I love hearing from you. Thanks again, my friends. Have a beautiful and blessed day.